Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. Jessica's going to get in with the group at some point. I'm your host, Sam, and alongside me, as always, is the crew. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing pretty well. It's all things considered. We're not going to talk about other stuff. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about football. We're going to be positive. We're going to do this thing. How you doing, buddy?
We're moving on to Cincinnati.
Playoffs.
Talk about playoffs.
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Jess?
I am tired as usual, but I'm all right.
I understand. You're probably tired of our BS.
I don't know what happened in the beginning, but sure. That was new to me. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Indeed.
You leave town for a couple of weeks and things change.
Yeah, that's right. Becomes a rave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're getting rave reviews. Not really. But anyway, of course, we are brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated, more than just a sign shop. Check them out in Westminster for all of your decal and sign needs. And of course, in Too Deep of Maryland. Check them out on Facebook to get an idea of when their next show is. They are a lot of fun. Now,
My Brady's dad's book. Link is in the description.
Oh, yeah. Dad's book. Still on sale.
Dad's
buy,
book.
please. Thank you.
Not my dad. Brady's dad.
My dad.
The Jester Fada.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
So-
dad couldn't. Oh.
Anyway, Moving on. It was an interesting week. A lot of new faces from injuries and, of course, from changing of the guard. This week, breaking news, we do have a new quarterback in Cleveland. Yeah. They are replacing Joe Flacco with the backup, Dylan Gabriel. But he's not the guy I want to talk about. The guy I want to talk about, Jackson Dart. Last week, they switched him out for Russell Wilson. They won the game.
Russell Wilson won a game?
He didn't.
No,
Jackson Dart did.
they took him out, and then they won the game.
That's right.
Okay, got it. All right. I'm like, the way you said it was like Russell Wilson won a game. I'm like, hold on, is this the same Russell Wilson I'm familiar with?
I gotta ask, was it the right move? Was it the right time?
I absolutely think it was the right time, personally. I mean, I think that this is going to be Brian Daboll's last season in New York if he doesn't get results. And they drafted this quarterback, and now he and Jackson Dart will be forever tied. And frankly, I think Dart did amazing for his first NFL start. The stats may not be there, but the only stat that matters is they got the W. So he went out there, he put on, the moves like Jagger and was able to make something of this makeshift offense that unfortunately did lose Malik Neighbors. But the run game looked solid. The pass game was still good even after Malik Neighbors went out. But I feel in this moment that it was the right move for New York. Now, going forward is a different question, but I think that if they're going to have any success this year, it's going to be on the back of Jackson Dart.
So I definitely agree with you, Brady. I think it was a good move because the Giants have to get their feet under them as far as the quarterback goes, right? Or at least as far as an offense goes. They've struggled for a while now, and Russell Wilson, just like last year, I said it with the Steelers, he's not the future. So if they want to grow someone, it's not him. He could have been like a stopgap kind of guy, but he wasn't even that. So I think they actually picked the perfect time, too, because they're putting Dart in. They put him in last week. He did fine. He helped to open up the run game a little bit, but he's going against New Orleans next week, or this week, and I believe you, Carol. But he's going against New Orleans, and he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, he says, because he interviewed with them, he visited with them, he thought it went well, and he was expecting to be drafted by them, and they didn't. They passed up on him. So I think he got his reps in last week, and then he's going to look even better this week. They're going to know how to formulate the game plan around him and his weaknesses and his strengths, and he's going to look great against New Orleans.
I don't really have anything to add. As I've said earlier, I was confused as to this. So I agree with my colleagues.
I look at this guy and I think he sat 2 games behind Russell Wilson, the guy notorious for not really helping his backups. Quite frankly, I think he should have sat a few more weeks. I don't think throwing him out against a defense like the Chargers was the smartest idea. I think at some point this year, absolutely, he should have got the start. But I think last week wasn't it. He did get the win. Don't get me wrong. He got the win. 111 yards passing, 54 yards rushing for him, and a touchdown, of course. But I feel like he got a big boost from the defense, and it helped him out immensely. But he's probably gonna be fine against the Saints. But what's coming up after that? I mean, he's got a couple of really hard games coming up. I think he plays the Chiefs in 2 weeks. Or did they already play the Chiefs? They already played the Chiefs, didn't they? I'm behind.
The Giants?
Yeah, the Giants. Nope, sorry. They play the Eagles. That's what it is. Eagles and the Broncos coming up. And I think
Broncos they play.
That's gonna be a hard thing for a young rookie to get in there and do that. He wasn't pressured a whole heck of a lot by the Chargers, and I think those 2 teams are absolutely going to be all over him.
That's the thing that makes NFL quarterbacks is you got to see how he acts and performs under the pressure so you know what you have to work with, and you don't want to just trot him out there against the Saints and the Panthers and the bottom 5s of the league. You got to see what he's going to be able to do against these teams that you're expected to lose against. So
Also, I don't think he wasn't pressured. I think he was pressured a lot because their offensive line is ranked like last in the league. Yeah. And they never convert in the red zone. So they can only go up is my statement.
Okay. Well, I mean, according to stats, I mean, it doesn't look like he was really hurrayed too much, but it may have just been a good week for him.
We'll see. Speaking of good weeks,
that's right. Let's take a look
Brady
at
must
who
have had
did
a good
the
week.
best this week.
I have no idea.
Sammy.
Oh, I did okay. Aw,
Sammy with an 11-5 week.
good for Sammy.
I know.
That tells you it was a wild week.
Yeah, and now he's beating
really
both
was a
me and
wild
Jared.
week when there's two 500s and the 2 9-7, so we're only off by 1 game.
yeah, there were a couple of my upset picks. If I hadn't gone upset, which they were down to the wire with the Raiders Bears game and the Titans, that wasn't down to the wire. But a couple of those games kind of stuck me back at 9-7 for this week. But I'm happy with the performance. You know,
I don't feel so bad at 8-8 when I see you and Jess at 9-7. Like, that's literally only 1 game off.
I feel like I should be ahead of my son, but you know, what do I do?
I would like to be ahead of your son as well.
you should say something to him, Sam.
I would, but he's not here today. So maybe next week when he's done better than us again, I'll have him on.
You just got to be a fighter, Sam. You got to keep fighting.
With your child, apparently.
Yeah. For 3rd place.
That's right. Slam him into a wall or something. That's okay.
Oh my god.
All right. Let's take a look at our game of the week. And I had one queued up until I found out that there was going to be a buttload of injuries on the 49ers side. So let's take a look. We have the Broncos against the Eagles. And quite frankly, I got to ask, you think the Eagles are going to make it to 5-0?
I do. Personally, they didn't play. I feel like the Eagles haven't played their best football yet, period, this year. I mean, last week they put up an impressive first half against the Buccaneers and then came out after half and just kind of let the Buccaneers try, it felt like, because that was one of the 4 games that I watched last week during the 1 o'clock slate. So I think if there's going to be a team that makes a deep run at potentially going undefeated, it would be the Philadelphia Eagles. The Broncos are kind of on that same page, though, is they have all of the talent. They just haven't put those pieces together. They had a really good showing against Cincinnati last week, but it was Cincinnati. And I think when you put these two teams, I truly believe, even at 2-2, I think Denver is a powerhouse in this league. If they can just figure out, we need to run the ball more and pass the ball less. But this could be a really heavyweight fight. But I'm going with the Eagles solely on the fact that they keep getting away with push. And I don't think any NFL team is going to learn how to stop it until there's a rule implemented. But Jalen Hurts has been throwing the ball well recently. He's actually gotten some plus 5-yard completion. So we'll see. But I am going with Philly on this one.
So this one I went back and forth with because, I love a good defense. And last week, Bo Nix actually looked pretty good. They had an outstanding offensive game against the Bengals. So, yes, take that with a grain of salt. I don't really want the Eagles to go 5-0. I don't really have anything against them, but I just don't think that they look that clean on the field generally. And that shows in some of their star wide receivers getting so little targets. But with that being said, I think that AJ Brown in particular, after coming out and saying something, I think it might, send some more targets his way. And I think the Eagles will take this one as well. And the Denver Broncos have got to stop losing the games themselves when they are. Because they are I think it's the 4th most penalized offense. They are absolutely just every single game nonstop with penalties, and it's just killing them. It's killing their game. So I think this week defense is really gonna make Bo Nix struggle. I think he may throw at least an interception, and the Eagles are gonna run away with this one by at least a touchdown.
I'm with Jess. I went back and forth on this one, not just because I like the Broncos along with the Ravens, but also just because I think there's a chance here. I picked the Eagles, so let's just get that out of the way. I'm agreeing with my colleagues here. I went with Philadelphia. I think they're just that much better. But it also depends on, I say this a lot, what version of your team is coming out on the field? Is everybody on point? Is everybody trying? Is everybody at their peak? Or is someone holding it back? Is someone getting exhausted? Is someone slippy hands today? What's going on? So, as Brady said, exactly what I was thinking. Bo Nix is good, and he looked really good on Sunday, but they need to balance that with the run. You got to run to be able to give him room and pockets to throw in. And if they can keep that up, I think there'll be a chance. I don't think it's going to be big lead. I think it'll be close, but I'm definitely going with Philadelphia.
I look at this game. The Broncos, of course, they've had some weird games. 2-2. They lost a game on, what was it, blocked field goal? End of the game?
The penalty that wasn't a penalty.
Penalty that wasn't a penalty, that's right. They very easily could have been 3-1. The Eagles, however, the teams that they've played, I don't think any one of them has a top 10 defense. Now, mind you, the Broncos defense hasn't been all that great this year, but I feel like they're going to start coming into their own sooner rather than later. They were a great defense last year. The Eagles, they've squeaked by in just about every single one of their games. Not a single one of them was more than a score victory. I could see the Broncos winning this in a low-scoring game. I have the Eagles picked, though.
But don't you feel so everybody's kind of saying the Eagles aren't playing their best games, and everybody, the games that each of these teams have won, they've just kind of squeaked by. But don't you feel like that's how all of the teams look right now? Don't you feel like everybody looks so messy and no one looks really well put together this year?
I think that's why we were 8-8, 9-7 this week.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good
Unless
point.
you're standing.
To be fair, yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of these games they've been high scoring, and there hasn't been a lot of defense at all.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's been I beat you by a touchdown, I beat you by a field goal, and
A blocked field goal.
yeah, there hasn't been a lot of separation. But
Yeah, only separation of the knee from the leg and going the other way.
I feel like the defense takes longer to get going than the offense does as far as the season goes. And I think they're going to, this is about the time, 4 weeks in, usually when teams start to know who they are, get their identity, get an idea of where they're going with all of their plays, what they're doing. And I think this is where you start to see some of these games become low scoring, possibly blowouts.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I like my defensive games, and they've all sucked.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into our Pop Panel Quick Pick'ems. Let's take a look and see what we got. We got one dissenting opinion. The Browns. Somebody likes Dylan Gabriel.
I don't like Dylan Gabriel. I like Myles Garrett against the Minnesota offensive line. Frankly, Carson Wentz, ever since he got injured, he doesn't have the mobility that he once did, and he doesn't look like someone who, frankly, should be playing starting quarterback in the NFL. So I think that defense, which is, I believe, in the top 5 in the NFL, Jess was just talking about defenses, the Browns defense has kept them in every single game that they have played besides the Ravens game. The offense has really is what stymied Cleveland's season, and maybe Dylan Gabriel is the one to, become that fighter on the field and just give them that little extra bit they need to string a win or two together. But, I've been called just a fool before, but I think it's totally possible this week.
You know what? I'm not even going to touch that because Shedeur Sanders is. Listen, Shedeur is on. He is one of the only third-string quarterbacks that we talk about because my daddy was Dion, and everybody knows me now. So,
and there's a reason why he's a third-string quarterback and not the backup.
Yep. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Jessica believes in the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, especially after this last week, Miami and Tyreek. Oh, my gosh. Can someone please explain to me why he was smiling and clapping on the way out like a psychopath?
Shock.
Anyone?
Shock.
Oh, my gosh. It was so weird, though. Like,
when your leg winds up looking like Harry Potter when he loses all the bones in his arm.
I watched that slow-mo. This thing popped up on Facebook, and I watched it slow-mo. I almost vomited in my mouth. And I've broken bones. I've seen a compound fracture. That's still not a good thing to see the leg go the other way like a flamingo.
So the reason, though, I did go with Carolina, I think that they are starting to work out some of their kinks. Some of their players are starting to look a lot better. There was some good connection with McMillan and Bryce Young, and I'm hoping, same thing with last year where he kind of got into his rhythm and then looked a lot better. Maybe we're that 4 games in, this is where, it comes out for him. But Miami's defense, is that what we're relying on? Both of these teams are generally garbage, okay? And Miami has looked really bad. So it could go either way, but I think the Carolina Panthers could look decent in this game.
Yeah, speaking of looking like garbage, I mean, the Texans-Ravens game, I'm going to be saying that I'm a flip-flop on that one because I think that is just going to be a dirty game.
Yeah.
I mean, there are players on the Ravens injury report that are just hurt with insert malady here. But yeah, it all depends on. I personally, I don't think Lamar is playing this week, but also the Ravens have Tyler Huntley on their practice squad, so I would not be surprised if they call him up to start the game because he has that more skill set that is developed for the Ravens offense. But we also did pay Cooper Rush a decent bit of money to be our backup quarterback. So we'll see.
No flip-flop.
Only they are not allowed to flip-flop, Carol. I am allowed to change mine. Because I tell them I will change it.
I'm saying it right now.
But you guys always give me crap for it. So that means you cannot.
Well, yeah, because you're our Lady Marmalade. We give you crap for everything.
I'm sticking with the Colts. Not the Colts, the Houston Texans.
Well, the Colts are going to win between
what
the
decade
Texans
is it?
I don't know.
Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
Simply because they showed decent last week, and quite frankly, with Colt McCoy, I don't think that's the right offense for Colt McCoy. It really isn't.
Who are you talking about?
Sorry. Oh,
Sam,
my
are
goodness.
you okay? Do we need to call 911?
Are you having a stroke?
John Elway has got to win the game.
That's a Tarek move to call one team another team.
Man, I am losing it. So, but the Ravens' backup quarterback,
Cooper Rush,
the guy from Dallas.
Yeah, Colt McCoy.
Yeah, Colt McCoy. It might as well be in this offense because, quite frankly, I think it's the wrong offense for him. I don't think this offense can run through him, and he's gonna struggle quite a bit. Moving on. Me and Jessica have the Seahawks at home against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, honestly, that's a toss-up game with Bucky Irving potentially not playing. The Buccaneers starting running back. That could be another swap game for me because not only because do I have him on my fantasy team, he controls a lot of offense through Tampa Bay through the screen game and also their run game. And I think if they lose him and they're out both their top receiver and Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, their offense is going to slow down a lot. So as much as I don't think that Sam Darnold has hit his stride in Seattle yet, I think they have a better shot at home if Tampa Bay is missing their top two weapons.
Especially with Seattle's running game really showed up this last week. I think they were averaging like 15 yards per carry.
I don't know.
It was a lot.
Or no, they did. It was. Let me see. They did 7 rushes for at least 15 yards, and that's tied for 4th most in the league.
Well,
so
I mean, you have Kenneth Walker and
Charbonnet.
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 Scotch bonnet.
Yes, that's right, yeah. Charbonnet. Yeah, she's glaring at me right now.
Yes. Do what you want, Sam.
She knows I will. Anyway. And then, of course, clean slate, right down memory lane. We all know who's winning these.
Those gimme games.
This is
we
not.
Say that, and we'll end up 5-12.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. Jacksonville has looked so good this year. They are 3-1. They have beaten like teams that everyone came into this season expecting to be in the playoffs. So I think at home they could go pound for pound with Kansas City. I'm going to stick with Kansas City, but I would not be surprised if that game is like 26-23 final.
Here's where they get in trouble, especially with Kansas City. They lead the league in called and accepted offensive penalties. And Kansas City is so good at drawing penalties against other teams, and they get tons of offsides penalties. You know they're going to plan for that kind of stuff. They're only converting 35% of their third downs.
Defense.
Jacksonville is trash. They are undisciplined, and I'm looking around trying to find these great teams that they've beaten. Where are they? The Bengals, they lost to.
They did beat the 49ers, but
they beat the 49ers, who are hurt everywhere.
But still,
and the Texans.
Everyone expected coming into this season that the 49ers were going to be a playoff team, and they still technically are. They are still in control of their own destiny. They are maybe banged up beyond all belief like the Ravens are, but they're still winning games. They're pushing the right buttons, and they're still doing it. Everyone came into this season thinking that C.J. Stroud was going to have like last year was an anomaly. It was a sophomore slump. They were going to turn it around this year. Like, they're playing good football. Their defense is number 1 in takeaways.
Yeah, but one of his main guys is out for the season.
They came into the season with knowing that, and they replaced him with Christian Kirk, and they gave him other weapons around him. I'm putting it right here. The Jacksonville game is going to be close. It's not going to be some blowout. It's not going to be.
I hope you're right.
Tarek, talk some sense to this guy. Talk some sense to him.
I want to believe him because I think it'll make it a more interesting game, but I cannot see them being able, like, it depends. Again, I'm going back to the same thing I've already said. I'm repeating myself, broken record, right? Which version of the Chiefs are showing up? Is this the version of the Chiefs that Patrick Mahomes couldn't shuttle pass 5 feet to Mr. Taylor Swift? Or, like, is this the version that can throw off one back foot across his chest 100 yards down to get a touchdown?
Maybe to Xavier Worthy, who's also back.
Right. So I have the Chiefs, obviously. I think the Chiefs are going to win this. I would like Brady to be right to make it a more interesting game, but which version of each of these teams is going to show up, I don't know. We've said, I mean, look at our records. This is a weird year. This is all weird. I don't know which way this is going to go. Like, so, I mean, Brady could be right. Crazier things have happened. But
And you know, I gotta say, I think this is the perfect week for the Green Bay Packers to have a bye after that weird game against Dallas and a 40-40 tie.
They, whoever said it, I'm not sure of the player, but 2 weeks ago when they were still undefeated, came out and said we have the roster to go undefeated, and then they lost to the Browns and then they tied to the Cowboys. So yeah, I think that perfect timing for them to cool their jets. Like, hey, we're not a playoff team currently. We got to get back on the horse here. And honestly, kind of same thing for Chicago. Like, they had a really good showing last week against, now granted, not a great team in Las Vegas, but it's building blocks. And that's kind of what you need when you have, you know, your entire franchise riding on Caleb Williams' back.
didn't your Trash Birds win last week, Brady?
Trash Birds did win last week, but
Well, I thought of you as I was watching the end of the game. I'm like, wow, Brady's Trash Birds are actually going to win. I wanted to bring it up. They went into the bye week winning.
birds of a feather, you know, but still, there's something about Atlanta. Like, they just, like, their loss to Carolina, like Jess was talking about Bryce Young, putting it together. Carolina looked great against Atlanta. Like, Atlanta
Yeah, but then didn't Atlanta just put up 40 points against somebody?
30 against the Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Right, but they're putting up points against the defense.
I'm not. Well, when Marcus Mariota is causing turnovers and putting the offense into favorable positions, like, sure, okay, yeah, great, but I still don't believe Atlanta is for real. You have a top 2 running back, and you aren't using him like you should. But boo Atlanta, I end.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. The whole crew is back for the first time in weeks. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to click like, click subscribe, so you know when our next video is. We do these live every week right now on Wednesdays till Sam and Brady need to change their schedule again. Click the link in the description for our Facebook group. Join the conversation. We are also trying to put out shorts. We forgot this week. A lot's been going on. But they perform pretty well, getting the word out. So join the discourse, and we will appreciate it. With that said, we will see you guys next time. As always, I'm Tarek.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Candyman.
And I'm Sam. And you have a great football week.
Bye, guys.